Hello YouTubers, my name is Sammy K, and this is one of my first instructional videos on how to make bell bottoms. They're super easy, fun, and I don't care if they're in style or not, they will be. They're really fun to wear, so hang out with me and I'll show you how to make a pair. Okay, I'll start with the list of supplies. Scissors, ruler or tape measure. Fabric will need to be 1.5 yards to 2 yards. A pair of jeans or pants, stretch denim is fine, or regular denim, a sewing machine, thread, and let's get started. So what I've got over here is one of my pieces of fabric for one leg. This is 3/4 of a yard long by 44 inches wide. This one is 1 yard long by 44 inches wide. To determine how long your bell bottom is going to be, you can go ahead and fold it. This is folded. It's got 4 layers of fabric here. And then I lay it up against the jean. You're going to want to try your jeans on to see how long they are. And based on how long your jeans are is where you're going to place that bell bottom. Your bell bottom does need to hit the ground. So long is better than short because short bell bottoms don't look good. Now, when you lay your fabric out, you're going to have a long side and a short side. That short side is going to basically tell you how long your bell is going to be. So what I do is I lay it up against my pants to kind of gauge where I want to cut my jeans. I know these jeans hit me right below the ankles, but I still want my bells to be a little bit longer. So we're going to go about right here. And these would be bells that start on the upper calf rather than just below the knee, because we're only using 3/4 of a yard. If you had used 1 yard of fabric, your bells would be taller. Just try your jeans on, hold your fabric up, see where they lay, and cut your jeans accordingly. Okay, this is the funnest and easiest part of all, the math. Out of this fabric, you're going to be cutting a giant circle. There's going to be no seams on these bells. It's going to look like a big donut. Now your leg opening on your pants has to be the same as this. In order to figure that out, it's really, really easy. Lay your jeans out with your fabric. Remember, your fabric is laid up against your jeans. You're going to have a long side of fabric and a short side of fabric. Again, this has been folded, 4 layers with a nice sharp corner and the edges meeting. Lay it up against your jeans. Now, I've figured that I want mine to, they're going to start just below my knee, given the amount of fabric that I have, which will look really nice. The excess is going to be to put a hem in there and to allow for that little bit of extra length that's required on a bell bottom. To find the radius, measure your jean from one leg end to the other leg end. So we've got 7 inches. Actually, you want to measure it down 2 inches from the top of your fabric. So right about here, we're still at 7 inches. Okay? 7 plus 7 is 14. So 14 is our inches is our circumference or width of the leg. You're going to take this number 14 and divide it by, this number never changes, 6.28. We'll go back to our formula here. Okay, to find the radius, take the width or the circumference of the leg and divide it by 6.28. So again, our leg is 7 inches, which makes it a 14-inch opening or circumference or width. Divide that by 6.28. And that comes out to, stand by. So our radius with a leg circumference of 14 inches is going to be 2.229 or 2 and let's say 1/4. Remember that 6.28, that number never changes when you're figuring this radius calculation for the leg, okay? So we now know that our radius is going to be 2.229 or basically 2.25, 2 1/4 inches. That radius number is needed to figure how big to cut the circle in your fabric. Fold your fabric in half once, then fold it in half again. You have 4 layers of fabric here. You got raw edges here. You've got raw edges here. Corner here. Corner here. Don't mess with those. Go to this corner here with the folded edges. And that's going to be where you cut your circle. So get your little tape measure, ruler, whatever fancy scientific tool you might be using. And you're going to measure from that corner 2.22. So I'm going to go 2 1/4 inches, which is right about there. Move your ruler, measure again, 2 1/4, 2 1/4. It's hard to do. Yeah, I don't have a professional photography team here, so bear with me, okay? 2 1/4. Rather than going bigger than what you think it should be, go a little bit smaller, okay? So actually, I'm going to cut it at 2 1/8. I usually take off 1/8 of an inch. Connect these lines. This is your radius cut, okay? You're going to cut that circle out next. Then you have a big hole in your fabric, but don't unfold it yet because you still got to make one more cut, okay? Okay, everybody, I'm back, and I now have my nephew Joey helping me film this. I just realized I'm not holding the phone the right way, so sorry if this is an annoying angle on the video. We've got our circle marked here. This is your radius cut. You're going to cut the circle out of the fabric here. Before you do that, while the fabric is still folded, take your ruler, and you want to measure getting as much length as you can. We're going to just go with that. Looks like about 12 inches here from that line to close to the edge. And then you're going to follow that, keeping the ruler on your radius marking, and just put a few marks around here at 12 inches or however long you want your bell bottom to be. All this fabric's going to get cut off, so you can save it and put patches on your jeans if you like. That's a really good use for it. Hopefully you can see the markings and my green hands. I've been tie-dyeing too much. So yeah, it's kind of important to keep this in a nice, good circle. You don't want an oval, so make sure you're measuring pretty accurate. A super high-tech ruler here, you know. So what it's going to look like now is like this. This is going to be your cutting line. Okay? And this will be the bottom of your pants.
I got a question.
Yeah.
What type of pen or marker you prefer to use?
Well, I'm using a Sharpie, so it shows up really well, but
okay.
Sometimes they bleed on your fabric, depending on what kind of fabric you use. You might want to use like a chalk pen or washable kids Crayola pens. Those work really good too.
Okay.
But I'm using a Sharpie because I know this isn't going to show up. So, action. So you've got that one piece of fabric marked. You go ahead and do the same thing to the other piece. Again, our 3/4 yard piece of fabric. Fold it in half once. Fold it in half twice. Measure your 2 or whatever your measurement is for your radius. Measure that from your corner. Mark and cut. Mark your hemline and cut. And I'm going to do that now. Pause.
So what do we do now, Sam?
Oh, we've got our fabric marked. We're going to cut out that circle.
Something like this side on your leg.
Oh, we already went. Yeah, baby. Groovy. Pause. See? Okay. I'm going to fold it back up. Just like it was before I unfolded it. And then lay it on your pant leg. And it'll give you an idea of what they're gonna look like. Ta-da! Again, this area here is gonna be the same distance as around here where you measured it. Now, remember you want your pants to be shorter than the belts, unless your pants are really long. So I'm gonna attach mine right about there. And that's about where I'm gonna cut my pants. at that, remember we measured 14 inches earlier?
Uh-huh.
That's where we're going to cut them at 14 inches. Make sure you cut enough off. Let's do this again. I don't like it. Okay, folks, hopefully you're not too confused yet, because I am. This is our bell bottom, or our circle. The jeans. Again, lay them up to where you want them to start and stop. Make them a little longer than what you think they need to be. We had a 7-inch measurement across the jean. We're still at 7 inches. These are going to fit right up. So we're going to go ahead and mark the jeans and cut them now. I don't cut the jeans until after I have cut out the actual bell-bottom leg. This is pretty important so that you can measure them a little more accurately. That action, baby. We're going to cut these pants. Next step is going to be take it to your sewing machine. What I like to do is run the jeans through the serger with a finish off that raw edge. I'm also going to run this through the serger, finish off that raw edge. If you don't have a serger, so what? Mankind got along for a long time without a serger, and so will you. So if you want to zigzag on your regular machine, your raw edges, that's perfect. I would definitely finish your raw edges so that they don't come unraveled or undone. Okay, we're recording. We are now going to kick the cat off the table. He's so cute. He loves to sew. We're going to finish off our raw edges before we attach these to the pant. You can also attach in one seam if you wanted to with your serger or your sewing machine. Zigzag them all together. I just prefer to do them separately because I have a silly cat in the way. Anyway, we're going to run this through the serger, through the small circle, and finish it off. And here we go. The serger that I'm using is a Singer Finishing Touch. It's an older one. I thought it was a real turd when I first got it. But you know what? This machine has not let me down. Again, it's a Singer Finishing Touch. I also have a FAF serger, which has broken down on me 3 times now. It's jammed up. So I love FAF. But hey, I'm not going to bash Singer ever again. Okay, we got that side serged. We'll do the same thing to the jean opening. Go ahead and finish that off with a serged or zigzag stitch. Gotta love this little Singer. My mom gave it to me. She didn't like it, but you know what? Good machine. Okay, so the jeans are serged. And the opening is serged here. At this time, you can also go ahead and do your bottom, unless you want to try them on first. You can go ahead and serge your bottom or hem your bottom now, but you probably want to try them on first and then do your bottom hem. Okay? We're going to pause video. And we're going to go to the regular sewing machine and attach this to the jeans. Okay, so right sides together. Attach your bell to your pant leg. And since there's no seams on the bell, there's no seams to match up. Just throw it on there. It doesn't matter where, unless you're trying to do some special pattern with your fabric. But there we go. Just like that. And then we're going to attach that to that. And I'm going to use my regular sewing machine to do that. My good old FAF. I love this machine. this off and get this out of the way. And it's going to use a straight stitch on it and sew that together. And then you're going to be pretty much done, except you still got to do one more leg. And pardon me, my left hand doesn't cooperate very well, so. Okay. And if anybody has any comments, suggestions, whatever, any advice on how to shoot a better YouTube video, or any suggestions for this tutorial, go ahead and post them at the bottom. And like everybody says, go ahead and subscribe. I don't know what you're subscribing to. Maybe I'll put more videos up in the future. You know, it took me all day to do this. Thank you to my nephew Joey for helping. And I watch other people do these tutorials, and they do them so fast. You know, that's all just video effects, but we're in the real world here. All right. Are you going to work? Yes, you will. All right. Attaching to the denim. All right. Do about a 1/2 inch seam allowance on there. That's usually pretty good. And should turn out looking spectacular. The hardest part of this whole thing is finding the cool fabric to use for your bells. And I've had a lot of luck at local thrift stores here in Wisconsin. There's all kinds of old fabric still to be had out there. There's also some groups on Facebook, like vintage fabric swap groups. I've gotten some really cool pieces from there. And eBay, also do eBay vintage fabric search, and you will find some really cool, genuine retro fabric. So long. No, I shouldn't say in the video, but I did. Fire me. Let's see if this matches up. This is why that radius calculation is important to cut, so that this circle matches up to your pants leg. And I'm no math whiz, but if I can do it, anybody can do it. Nice thing about stretch denim is if you can ease it in to fit this thing if your circle's too big, too small, or too big actually, but we nailed this one just right. And it's attaching nicely without any excess fabric in there. There we go. And you know what? That's pretty much all there is to it. Once you've got that attached to the leg, then you're done. You can do your hem. You can fold it up and hem it. You can do a surged end or rolled hem, whatever you call it. We're going to reach the end of the video now. I'm going to show you what the pant looks like. Bear with me. Okay. Here we are attached just below the knee. And is that the coolest fabric in the world or what? Thanks for watching.